All right, you wanted this topic today. We're going to do who is the X factor for each top 25 team. 25 seems like a lot of teams, but again, this is your topic, not mine. You have ESPN's top 25 for next season up right now. We're going to go off that list and just determine who the X factors are. So you can work your way through the teams list here, Cart. Who do we start with?
All right, we're going to start. Actually, you know what? I'd like to start at 25 and work our way down to one. We always start at one. And we're going to switch it up today because I'm the chosen one. All right, so we're going to start at 25 here with Rutgers. Who is the X factor for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights this year and the Fighting Pikels?
Steve Peichel.
The coach is the X factor.
Steve Peichel is the X factor.
Why is he the X factor?
Because if Steve Peichel is truly incapable of running good offense, this team's going to stink. And he has the talent. There's no more excuses. He has the offensive talent. He needs to produce a good offense for the first time in his entire career.
Okay. I like that pick. He does have, I mean, he's got the talent, like you said, the offense. I'm going to stick mostly players on this exercise just to give you a little insight moving forward. I'm going to pick Jeremiah Williams because when Rutgers was actually playing well last season, I think Jeremiah Williams' play was a really big part of that, to be honest with you. When he finally got eligible, finally played, he was a guy who was threatening to put up like triple-double threats. He's played a lot of basketball. And I think it's going to be much needed next to the youth they have on the team. So playing next to Dylan Harper, I think Jeremiah Williams is going to be a big piece on that. And then Ace Bailey as well. So I'm going to pick the X factor as Jeremiah Williams for Rutgers.
Okay. I don't hate that.
Okay. Moving on. The Xavier Musketeers, obviously bringing in massive class. Sean Miller is the coach. Zach Fremantle might play here. That's
Cool.
why I went with this one. This is easy to me. It's Fremantle and his health. It's Fremantle and his health. Because if his health is good finally, and if he is healthy, I think that the Xavier team is going to be a real factor in the Big East.
Zach Fremantle might play. Yeah, sure. I'm happy he might play. Just that's
the X factor.
This is why I'm skeptical of Xavier. Like the second best bullet point for their team is like this guy might play. I'm going Dante Maddox. To me, Xavier is good when they have a really dynamic guard. I think Maddox could be the best player on the team. If he is, then I'll take them seriously. But they need that from him. They need him to be Sule Boom.
Sule Boom was so much fun to watch.
So good. Loved him.
So good. All right, Texas Tech Raiders at number 23. McCaskill and the gang. What do you have as the X factor for Texas Tech? McCaslin, my fault.
Oh man, I don't know if there's an obvious one for Texas Tech right now.
I mean, some options given their projected starting lineup: Elijah Hawkins, Chance McMillan, Darion Williams, JT Toppin, Federico. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think there's like any individual player here that makes you know what? Yeah, screw it. Christian Anderson's the X factor.
Ooh.
Christian Anderson's the X factor. He's like the upside swing here. I don't think any of the other guys they have are like upside guys. But if Christian Anderson like walks through that door and he's actually Trae Young, I mean that would change everything.
In conjunction with that, I'm gonna say this is an X factor duo. If Christian Anderson is special, combine that with JT Toppin building on his Mountain West Freshman of the Year, 12 and 10 basically that he averaged as a freshman, you could be looking at one of the youngest, best 1-2 punches in the Big 12. So in conjunction with yours, I'm going to say JT Toppin.
Okay. I don't like the conjunction. I don't feel like there was any conjunction there, but that's okay. You do
Conjunction. What's your malfunction? This is my exercise. Moving on to number 22.
Words.
What?
It's not the words. Just move on.
What do you mean it's not the words?
That's not the words of the conjunction, what's your function?
Is that a song?
Yeah, you did conjunction, what's your malfunction, which is not the word.
Oh, I didn't know that was a song. Okay, moving on.
Yes, you did. What were you trying to reference?
I thought it was just a saying. Number 22, the Ole Miss Rebels.
Just a liar, man.
Hey.
Speaking of liars, the X factor for Ole Miss is Chris Beard.
Jeez. Why is it Chris Beard? Because of just the new pieces that they have?
Yeah, they got a lot of talented guys. They have, I think I counted this up when we did the state of the program. They have 9 guys who scored double figures last season. There is no shortage of talent. I think this season comes down to like, is Chris Beard still a top 5 coach like we thought he was a few years ago, or has that changed?
Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna say with everyone coming in, I think the X factor is Matthew Morrell taking another step. And I feel like that's asking a lot of a guy who tested the NBA waters, averaged 16 a game last season. But like I think he could be first team all SEC. Possibly if Ole Miss is good enough, he could be in the running for SEC player of the year if he's able to up his production surrounded by that talent, which he might be able to do. Who knows? I'm not sure if he takes a step back or not, but like it's always been there with Matthew Morrell in my eyes. Like I've always been a fan of his game, and maybe in this last season that he has, he puts it together like completely. Even though I'm not saying he's been bad these past couple seasons, but I'm talking about he takes one more step, and I think that elevates Ole Miss into maybe an SEC contender for real.
Have we ever talked about how the word Ole being in a school's name is insane?
Ole Miss.
Like, why aren't they just Miss or like Old Miss? Like, what Ole? We're really giving them Ole, and we've all just like accepted that? That's insane.
You don't like it?
No. Do
Oh,
you like
okay.
it?
Kinda, yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
I used to think it was Ole Miss.
That's very
Um,
believable. Yeah.
yeah, I know exactly.
Uh-huh.
Number 21, the UCLA Bruins. Don't just pick coaches for everyone. Are you gonna say Cronin?
No, I'm
Are you
not.
sure?
Yeah, I'm not. I think it's a day, Mara.
A Damar actually being good.
Yeah, I'm very skeptical. But if Ademar is who he was supposed to be last season, then I think UCLA is probably really good and probably wins a bunch of games in this conference. And we talked about there's a lot of teams without centers. Like my team has 2 good centers. Indiana has a good center. I think Purdue thinks they have good centers, but you don't really know who it's going to be yet. Stephen Crowell is still there. Outside of that, there's a bunch of teams with unproven guys at center. So like if Ademar is a lottery pick, then UCLA is going to win a lot of games.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are pegging Dylan Andrews to be like the point guard that steps up. I'm gonna actually say the X factor is Trent Perry, the incoming McDonald's All-American that they have. If Andrews doesn't necessarily hit, or maybe they want to like maybe Sebastian Mack in year 2, the inefficiencies just kind of you want him more as a bench guy. Trent Perry is one of the best shooters in this class, and I think that he can provide a lot of shooting to this team that would really help them out. So I'm gonna go Trent Perry and see where he kind of falls in that guard rotation, even with guys like Sky Clark in the fold as well. It'd be interesting to see how that unfolds.
Perfect.
Um, Moving down the list, number 20, Florida Gators, Todd Golden and the boys. This one's easy to me. It's Elijah Martin. It's which Elijah Martin you get. Are you getting last year's Elijah Martin, or are you getting Elijah Martin of the Final Four run? And maybe the change of scenery changes that. Maybe being away from John L. Davis fixes his mental a little bit. But on paper, like Elijah Martin should like kind of just go into this team and be pretty seamless transition into this team. But he needs to be productive and play well next to Walter Clayton and Will Richard. So I think Elijah Martin's the easy answer for this one.
I like your pitch on that. My initial gut reaction was it's just how good is Walter Clayton actually? Like, could he be National Player of the Year? Because I think they kind of need that. I'm going to answer with a position. I think center is the X factor for Florida. Because if Handlockton was just healthy, then there's no questions on this team. They're probably preseason like top 10, top 15. But they're going to start at center either like Ruben Chinyelu from Washington State, who averaged 4 last year, or Sam Alexis from Chattanooga, who's 6'9" and averaged 10 last year, or like Alex Condon, who averaged 7 last year. Are any of those guys good? I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think they're like SEC good. And even if Elijah Martin and Walter Clayton are awesome, if they don't have a playable center, there is going to be a massive limitation to this ceiling. Somebody needs to be good.
Yeah. All right. Inside the top 20 here, Cincinnati Bearcats, number 19. Who's the X factor for Cincinnati? I'm obliged to say this, just because it's hook 'em until it's not hook 'em anymore. It's Dylan Mitchell being more than Dunky Dunks. If he can be more than Dunky Dunks, that really will do a lot for the Cincinnati team. Is he more than Dunky Dunks? I don't know. But if he is, I think there's talent on this team. Day Thomas, Skillings Jr. was good last season. I like Wes Miller as a coach, but Dylan Mitchell has to bring more to the game of basketball than dunky dunks.
Yeah, so Cincinnati's screwed. But yeah, I agree. It's Dylan Mitchell. It's like the same roster. They just add Dylan Mitchell to it. So
You're out.
I mean, if Dylan Mitchell's great, they'll be really good.
Okay.
If Dylan Mitchell's Dylan Mitchell, they probably won't be.
This one should light up your life. Number 18, the Indiana Hoosiers. Who is the X factor for your Hoosiers, Greg?
The medical trainer lead. Yeah, whoever runs the training staff for Indiana basketball.
Outside of that,
that's the answer.
No, that's
they gotta stay healthy, and everybody's in a boot right now. Like,
okay,
I'm serious.
there's not a player on this team not in a boot except Cardio Cups. Cardio Cups is healthy.
I think they're all in boots. Honestly, any picture we've seen of Indiana, I can't trust anymore. They've all been photoshopped out of the picture. No, if it is a player, I would say it's Miles Rice. Is Miles Rice like a legitimate star at point, or is he?
Yeah, that's where I was going to go to. Honorable mention, and Kenzie Mbako taking that NBA second year level jump could prove absolutely massive for this team. If he he doesn't get talked about maybe enough. I think he does, but like I might just be saying like the classic, oh, no one ever mentions it, but everyone does mention it. If he's like this first round NBA draft pick level talent, surrounded by everything else they have, this Indiana team is going to be so ridiculously good.
Yeah. The bad thing for Mbako is that I already have like decided it's not even a question. He's going to be that good.
Oh,
it's like he can't even be an X factor because he's going to be that good. But that's bad for him because my expectations are so high.
Got you. Okay. Number 17, the Marquette Golden Eagles. It's so hard to pick an X factor for this one.
Yeah,
Cam Jones is going to be Cam Jones. Maybe Sean Jones coming back healthy. Like, obviously, he had the ACL thing last year, but they need something. They need somebody else to step up and pick up the absence of what Kolek and Iguodaro are.
Yeah, I got my answer for that reason. I'm going Ben Gold. I think people think Ben Gold could be like a breakout superstar. And I think all these other guys kind of are what they are. If Ben Gold like is a first team All Big East guy, that would change everything for them.
Yeah, Ben Gold or David Joplin getting a pass button might be the X factor for this team. Number 17, Coach Cal and his new team, the Arkansas Razorbacks. The X factor for me, because it's Coach Cal and because I think I know how he's going to operate, the X factor might be DJ Wagner. Because DJ Wagner is going to play. Is he going to be good? That's going to be massive. Because I think that Coach Cal obviously trusts Wagner and likes him, and I think he's going to play him. So, like, I think what he brings to the table will probably be the X factor for the Razorbacks.
Yeah, I'm going to take the cop out. I just think it's Cal. Like, did Cal actually learn from his mistakes or not? Are his rotations better or not? That's the whole season. Like, the talent's there. It's just, is he playing the right guys or not?
All right, the Purdue Boilermakers, who, by the way, Greg, according to Jeff Borzello's projected starting lineup, Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, Cam Heide, Trey Kaufman-Renn, and Daniel Jacobson.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Huh? Really? Yeah. Who's been saying that? Their X factor's me. How right was I? Period. Like, am I right or am I wrong? That's the X factor. If I'm right, they're gonna be awesome.
You being the X factor of Purdue basketball is one of the scariest propositions I think anybody could be faced with, and Purdue Nation should be scared. With that said, it's Trey Kaufman-Renn for me. I think that obviously you're a believer in Jacobson. I am too, but like if TKR is just that good at the center spot, then I think that you can just go Cam Heide at the 4, Colvin at the 3, and it'll work out instead of having to be forced to play Jacobson.
Yeah, I hear you. You don't want to play Jacobson at all. That's fine. You could make an argument that everyone here is an X factor. Like literally every guy needs to like take a step forward. I have a second X factor I'd like to present.
Yes.
Zach Edey.
Why is
Zach
that?
Edey is the X factor. Was Zach Edey actually everything or not? That's the question.
Zach Edey is the X factor. Like Zach Edey's legacy is gonna change given what this team does.
I think that Zach Edey is the X factor for next season of Purdue basketball.
They just will never go away. Number 14, the Creighton Blue Jays. Add Papa Isaacs, add Jemiah Neal, Kalkbrenner's back. What's the X factor for the Creighton Blue Jays?
Ashworth, I guess.
Ashworth, I guess.
Yeah, Ashworth, I guess.
I'm gonna go Mason Miller.
Yeah, that's why it's Ashworth, I guess.
Just give me something at the 4. Like if they get something from him at the 4, if they get anything from anybody, I don't really care who it is, to be honest with you. Like they need something from the 4 spot. It was an eyesore last year. I feel like it might possibly be an eyesore this year. Mason Miller needs to make a jump.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Ashworth, I guess.
Okay. Number 13, the Tennessee Volunteers.
Oh. There's a lot of names I want to say for this one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Yeah. I'm gonna say Dubar. I debated saying Akpara, but I think like if Akpara is just bad, then it's Igor Milicic at center.
Yeah.
And they'll be fine. To me, they need somebody to alpha. I actually think Dubar will be the best player on this team.
Hey, you kind of talked me into that one. I was gonna say Ziegler. Like him, if he's able to stay healthy, and he like down the stretch last season, he was playing really, really well. Looked like his old self. Played a lot of games. Having him at the point guard spot, I think it's gonna be if they can get some production out of him and not have a Zakai Ziegler getting benched mid-season thing, it'll bring some great continuity to this Tennessee team that I think will, help the alphas kind of show themselves. Number 12, my Aggies, the Texas A&M Aggies. Uh, I mean, I'm gonna say the X factor is Manny. I think the X factors. I think when he played well towards the end of last season, that's when they looked their best. But I think I'm gonna take the words out of your mouth this season, or for this one. Is it just Wade Taylor and whether he's just doing the gunning thing,
The shooty shoot.
the shooty shoot?
Um,
Are we going coaching in here's a buzz?
it's not coaching. How do you like? Let's see. How do I say this?
Maybe Henry Coleman playing well, like after an injury last season, like kind of an
Can
injury-full season last year.
be an X factor? Like
Continuity.
my question with Texas A&M is like, are any of these guys actually good? Because they kind of stunk all of last year, and like now we're just like we're doing it again without Boo. Or Boots, whatever the hell his stupid nickname was, Radford. Like I don't know. Like I wouldn't be excited about running this back with Wade Taylor, who shot 36% from the floor, and 6 different returning players that didn't score 9 points a game last year. Like, is anyone good?
I think I might be excited about them running it back.
I guess that my X factor has to be one of the new guys. I think I'll say it's Zurich Phelps.
Okay. Whether the X factor is him not trying to outweigh Wade Taylor. And it's just them two just having a shoot off.
Or like Pharrell Payne. Does Pharrell Payne just like prove that he's way better than Henry Coleman and that helps him big? Like that could happen.
Do Pharrell Payne's knees stay healthy?
I'm
also
so out
massive.
on A&M. I'm so out.
All right, number 11, Auburn Tigers. I was gonna say Dan Hurley not leaving so that Bruce Pearl leaves, but now
is Maddie Pruitt's dad still on staff?
Who?
That's a bachelorette thing. You'd be unfamiliar. I'm gonna say It's probably the new guards. It's Miles Kelly and Pegues, however you like to say his name.
I'm gonna say Denver Jones. Year 2 transfer. Those are our favorites. He was probably the best of the guards last year, averaged 9 last season. Still think he could take a jump in year 2. Honorable mention, Chad Baker Mazara's temper. Uh, that's gonna be massive moving forward.
I am workshopping a take that the Auburn backcourt got worse from last year's backcourt, and nobody wants to admit it.
I'm gonna need some more information on that eventually.
Aiden Holloway is actually a big loss, and everyone wants to pretend Trey Donaldson stunk, but these guys are worse than Trey Donaldson.
I love Aiden Holloway. He did stink last season.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay. Number 10, the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Whatever walk-on plays at the 5 for them.
Well, right now their current projected starting lineup is Elliot Cadeau, RJ Davis, Ian Jackson, Cade Tyson, Lubin. Yes, Greg?
They're just starting a 6'8" center who's not a center. He's a 3 more than he is a 5.
Is Lubin only 6'8"?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, if this is the team, I'm gonna say it's Elliot Cadeau.
Yeah.
Because their season will hinge on him taking a huge step forward.
So I was gonna say Cadeau originally, but I'm gonna pick a player who, if he's just that good and he's the top 10 prospect that he is, you don't even care about Cadeau, it's Jackson. If Jackson is that good, then you just kind of move off of Cadeau and you just go RJ Jackson and then fill in somebody else maybe at that 3 spot.
So North Carolina doesn't have a center. Is going to start a 6'8" forward there. Neither of us picked center as our option. I picked a guard I don't believe in, and you picked a different guard that would take the guard you don't believe in spot. And you're really in on North Carolina still.
RJ Davis is still on the team.
He is.
Cade Tyson.
Let's move on.
Number 9, the Arizona Wildcats.
The only answer is Caleb Love. They go as he goes always. That's it.
That's a scary proposition.
Nobody else matters. Just like every other Caleb Love team he's ever been on.
What about Trey Townsend?
Every Caleb Love team he's ever been on, their entire season is resolved based on what he does. That's how it works.
I'm going to break my rule and I'm going to pick Tommy Lloyd. I think Tommy Lloyd might have a time this season, or he might have a situation this year where he has to make a tough choice. And I think he has weapons on this team where he could, if he really wanted to, maybe stop Caleb Love from doing the thing where he hurts the team.
Yeah,
will he do it? I don't know.
There are weapons on this team, but the problem is the quote unquote best player is a massive weapon of mass destruction that can just go off at any time. There's nothing you can do.
All right, George Bush. Number 8, the Duke Blue Devils. Easy one for me. If Cooper Flag's just generational like he's supposed to be, then they're good. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that they got the Vegemite eating point guard. It doesn't matter that they're starting a Syracuse power forward for a bad Syracuse. It doesn't matter. I don't care about any of that. I don't care that Zion James is shaped like Zion Williamson. I don't care if Cooper Flag is just generation.
It's Shire because Shire needs to pull the right strings here. Is he going old or is he going young? And he needs to make it mesh and work.
For the record, I get it. Yeah. Oh, old wins in college basketball. Experience, veterans, grittiness. Sick. Play the young talent and let's rock. This could be an ultimate let the young bulls rock movement if given the chance.
We just realized we're Duke fans this year. If Duke is the let the young bulls rock team this year, we gotta
go full brotherhood.
We have to go full Duke people.
I don't know if I can.
We have some time to figure it out, but they're definitely the let the young bulls rock team.
Riley's gonna have to figure it out too. Good grief. Iowa State.
Momcilovic.
I'm gonna say Gilbert.
Really?
Because I think that Gilbert has the game to be that guy. We talked about him as a guy who he's the scoring load guy. He's in the NCAA tournament run last year. I think if Gilbert asserts himself as a top echelon guard in the Big 12. It makes them dangerous. I do like the Momcilovic shout. Um, Also, Otz's workout regimen just staying the same, definitely a factor.
I think they
Like,
need Milan to be like the NBA guy on this team. Like nobody else is going to play in the league. So Momcilovic needs to be like a lottery pick talent.
okay. I'd agree with that. 6, Baylor Bears. It's Edgecombe for me.
Just how good is he?
Yeah, because like I believe in Roach. I think Nunn is what he is. Langston Love is what he is. I believe in Norchad. If Edgecombe is what we think he can be, this team is ridiculous.
I'm going to say Norchad because I have had motivation concerns with Norchad, even though he's been extremely productive. Is Norchad just cashing checks? Or is Norchad like, which I'd assume he told people he went to Baylor because he wants to win a national title, not about the money. But like, was that a lie? Like,
I feel like his pick of Baylor kind of reinforces the fact that he's not just trying to catch a check. Otherwise, he would have just gone back to Miami, right?
yeah, Baylor hasn't had a center as good as him, in my opinion. And what does it look like? Like, is Norchad the best player on this team? It's possible. I think the guards are going to be good in some form. No matter how good VJ is, the guards will be good. They need Norchad to be like first team all Big 12, and then they're unstoppable.
All right. Number 5, the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Is I want to say Khalif Battle, but I don't know. I don't feel like it's Ben Gregg. I
I
don't
don't
really
know
want to
that there
say
is an X factor on Gonzaga. I think they are what they are and they're good.
like
Like,
Mark Few having the Uber app.
I'll say Steel Venters? Because like what if he's really good?
I like that. Okay, I'll take that. I'll honorable mention if Michael Ajayi is actually like this NBA guy that we're being told he is.
Yeah, I think it's just the new guys. Like all the new guys. Guys that did not play for this team last year. Like, do any of them raise the ceiling?
New guys and old guys liking each other.
So
That's
Gonzaga's X factor is Gonzaga.
Gonzaga's X factor is friendship.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one.
All right. Number 4, Houston. This is easy for me. Sharp.
Who?
Sharp. Emmanuel Sharp.
That's probably it. I think he's their best player. Uzan's the X factor. Is he good or not?
If he's Jamal Shed Light.
Yeah. Is like, can he do 80% of Jamal Shed stuff or no?
Are you saying you want more?
No.
Sorry, I'm working on my baby hand. This is more, right?
Yeah, this is more than this is all done.
Okay, sorry. I'm working on that. That's yeah. UConn Huskies X Factor.
How stupid Dan Hurley's players are. Truly. That's like how stupid is Terrace Reed on the court? I've said I think he's one of the lowest IQ players in NCAA history. And Dan Hurley's running around telling everyone he loves coaching at UConn because his players are stupid.
I'm gonna just say the Hurley circus is the X Factor. Like what does it do?
Oh.
How does it motivate? Which way does it go? Does it negatively impact? Does it positively impact? Everyone assumes it's gonna be so positive that there's also a world where it's negative. Just let that be known. The Hurley circus. Number
Mahaney
2.
deserves a shout too.
Sure, we'll shout out Aiden. Number 2, Alabama Crimson Tide.
Ah.
It's got to be Oates because like he has the team, the talent. It's Oates. It's Oates pulling the right strings. It's Oates keeping guys happy. It's Oates handling all this.
That's just a scary proposition. I'm gonna say Cliff. I'm gonna say Cliff. Cliff might not be as good as everybody thinks Cliff is.
Uh-oh. Greg, I don't know about that.
He
No.
just might not be like are we gonna sit here and act like Cliff's gotten better since the Cliff he was 3 years ago?
No, we are not.
So like Cliff's been on a lot of losing teams, hasn't he?
Yes, yes.
Played a lot of losing basketball the last couple of seasons.
Yes, yes.
That's the guy.
Is that Pikel or Cliff?
I like Grant Nelson at the 5 better than I like him at the 4 next to Cliff.
Cliff being the X factor is a scary proposition.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Let's move on. Last but not least. No, not more. All done. Uh done. Kansas. No, that's not all done. Trevor. The number one, the Kansas Jayhawks. X factor for the Kansas Jayhawks.
AJ Store. AJ Store. Everybody's gonna act like this is like, are the players happy or not? If AJ Store's Kansas's best player next season, none of the happiness matters. And he's capable of that. He is talented enough to be the best player on the best team in the country.
Yeah, I probably agree with you on that one. Also, while we're taking projected starting lineup victory laps here, Borzello's projected Kansas starting lineup: Dwan Harris, Zeke Mayo, AJ Storr, KJ Adams, Hunter Dickinson.
Yeah, Rylan Griffin's gonna start. Some way, somehow.
All done.